John Wick is pissed off and ready for more with John Wick Chapter 4. It's the new film from the filmmakers of Philomena, The Lost King, and Idris Elba returns as Luther in The Fallen Sun. That's this week on The King's Corner. What's up, guys, and welcome to an all-new episode of The King's Corner, where first, we're talking about John Wick Chapter 4. Look, we just rewatched the John Wick films the past few days. I love each and every one of them. They're all, great, and you can make an argument that, any one of them is the best of the franchise. And guess what? Same goes for Chapter 4. This might be my favorite of the series, to be honest with you. And not just because of, the runtime or I'm coming off a high from seeing it. Look, it's a 2-hour and 49-minute movie. Without credits, I don't know, 240, maybe 242, somewhere around there. Regardless, you're going to be in there for 3 hours, including, previews. And this movie flies by. Is it long? Yes. Does it drag? Absolutely not. Keanu Reeves, is great in this role. I mean, his line delivery is iconic. It's so likable. I mean, this guy is a badass killer who has a heart of gold. I mean, at the end of the day, there's something that happens in this film later on in the movie that I said, wow, this makes me love John Wick even more. It's a character choice that he does in the moment. Very quick decision. And it's a decision that I really loved, really appreciated. And it's consistent with the series. And I thought that was great. You got the returning cast members, Lawrence Fishburne, Ian McShane, who is one of my favorite underrated actors. I feel like he should be talked about a lot more. He's incredible in this, just like he is in the rest of them, and he always has something to do in the background. And in this film, it is similar. We're introduced to Donnie Yen in the film. He, is a blind assassin. He's playing another blind warrior. Go back to Rogue One, he's playing blind Chirrut Emwe. And now here he's blind again. He's got his swords. And, this character is so well realized. Donnie Yen is incredible. And, he was a standout in the movie. Also a standout, Bill Skarsgård is the new bad guy in the film. And, he has this accent in the movie. The first time he started talking, I said, don't know how I'm going to feel about it. By the time the movie ended, I forgot it was Bill Skarsgård. I said, wow, this is this guy. I mean, he was everybody just disappears into their role. The late Lance Reddick, in the film, as the guy behind the desk. And, he's great in the movie, R.I.P., so I'm sorry that it's terrible that happened. I would have loved to see more from him in his career. But he is great in the series, and he will be remembered for the series and other things as well. So, wanted to touch on that. But overall, the story continues to make this world bigger. The scope, I think, is the biggest it's ever been. You feel it. With all these movies, the stakes are so high. I mean, the way that the high table is written, and the rules and the Continental and all of it, it's written so well that it's so believable. And you feel that there is consequences and things are going to happen, if you screw up. And I thought it was just so well realized in this film as well. Just the layers of the high table. And even beyond the high table to the elders and the desert and all this. I mean, there's just so much going on. And there's no loose ends. There is no loose ends. By the time the movie ends, you feel satisfied. This kind of left me like No Time to Die, which was one of my favorite films of the year. It came out, the James Bond movie. I mean, it's a very long film, just like that, and it just did everything it needed to do. I mean, the action in this movie. There's a scene on a staircase. There's a scene that is to do with like waterfalls type stuff. I mean, every action set piece in this is incredible. There's nunchucks, there's guns, there's knives, there's swords, there's machetes, there's axes, there's all these things, everything you could expect and dream of. Car chases. I mean, just this movie gives you everything. Gives you good characters, gives you good story, gives you good action. The way it's edited, the way it's shot. This is some of the best shot action I've ever seen. And to be honest with you, I don't really think that there's anything I didn't like about this movie. Some people will say the runtime, but guess what? It flies by. It's a very entertaining film, very immersive film, and I love this world. And look, John Wick Chapter 4 is a big surprise. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. And it's a 5 out of 5 star film. I mean, I have no gripes with it. I have no gripes with it. There's nothing about it that I didn't like. Maybe in the first movie, second movie, third movie, you can pinpoint a couple things that, okay, well, I'll let it slide. Here, I mean, honestly, everything is done so tightly and neatly. You know, you're given time to breathe. I mean, I just thought I thought it was great. This is top class entertainment. If the Oscars and Academy could nominate films like Avatar and Top Gun, there's no reason John Wick Chapter 4 can't get a Best Picture nomination. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But gosh darn it, it should. I mean, this is you gotta give credit to where credit's due somewhere. You don't have a stunt category, so where are you going to give your win? I don't know. Give it a Best Picture nomination, but it's not going to happen. But that's my thoughts. John Wick Chapter 4. Go see it. You want to go see a good action movie. You want to get immersed into the film, into a movie. This is the one to do it. And if you didn't see the previous films, I'd recommend it. I think they're all excellent. I mean, this is a terrific series. The fourth film in, and another terrific film. Next up, we're talking about The Lost King. This is directed by Stephen Frears. Co-written by Steve Coogan, Jeff Pope, the filmmaking team behind Philomena, the 2013 Judi Dench film, which also starred Steve Coogan. Love that movie, and guess what? I really thought this was a damn good movie as well. Do I think it's as good as Philomena? Not quite, but I mean, it's probably really close. I mean, this is a really good movie. Stephen Frears does a great job. Frears does a great job directing this. I mean, he's a very good director, probably a very underrated director. And Sally Hawkins plays the lead character in the film. It's based off a true story, her story. Where she's living this basic life, separated from her husband, doing all this stuff. You know, she's getting undercut at her job, and one thing leads to another, and she gets really interested in finding the remains of King Richard III. Can she do it? Well, you got to watch the movie to find out. You heard the true story. Well, did she do it? You're gonna see. This is a really good movie. It's very entertaining. I think it starts strong and it ends strong. There's a 15 to 20 minute chunk towards the end of the second half, somewhere around there, that I think it slows down a little bit and it presses pause and nothing really happens for maybe 15 minutes. But then when it starts to happen again, it picks back up. This is a film that's like, look, if this came out in like November last year or November this year, I could see it being put in the Oscar conversation. I would give this a Best Picture nomination. I would give it a Best Adapted Screenplay nomination. I think the cinematography was beautiful. Maybe the editing. I don't know. I mean, this is a very well-made film. And, I didn't really know anything about it going in. And watching it, I was very, very pleased. Like I said, there's that chunk that does slow down. There's, visions that she has of King Richard throughout the film that, start out kind of curious. Then he starts to talk and they start to not grow a friendship, but, she just starts to have this voice in her head, which is this vision she's seeing. So, a little strange, but it works, and I get what they're trying to do with that. By the end of the movie, I said, "Wow, that was actually really good," and I'd say it's like a top 5 film of 2023 so far for me. And I'm going to give it a very, very, very strong 4 out of 5 stars. If it could break the scale, it's practically doing it to get to 4.5. It's very close. Steve Coogan is also fantastic in the movie, and Sally Hawkins, I think, is giving a great best lead actress performance. And I'm not just saying that because we're coming off hot off the Oscars. I honestly do believe that this is a very well made film. And will it be, forgotten by the time Oscars season comes around next year? Probably. Could be wrong, but I just don't think many people are going to see it, and it's not going to be talked about as much. But if you see this video and you got time to see this tiny little film, go see it. I think it's worth your time. The final movie we're talking about is something that was released in theaters in February, I believe, and now comes out on Netflix. I think we're like 2 weeks late to the party on it, but it's Luther, The Fallen Son. This is based off of a 2010 TV show. I had no idea. I thought this was just an original film. Reading about it's based off a show, which people really liked, and now they made a movie about it. So I never saw the show. I'm just going off of a film that's a thriller, action, adventure, whatever. Uh, you know, dark kind of Seven type movie. That I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it. I think this movie's, to be honest, I think it's very boring. I don't think the action's very exciting. I don't think the dialogue is very well written. I don't think the world it's set in is very immersive. I think Andy Serkis steals the show as this sick, twisted villain. But, Idris Elba, it just seemed like he was just putting in a paycheck. I don't know. It just seemed like he was in it for the money. He's okay, but he's Idris Elba. I'd rather watch him in a movie like Beast than I would in a movie like this. Cynthia Erivo, she's fine as well. But I never thought that anybody would. There's something memorable about this film, and it's barely watchable. I mean, I was pretty bored by it. There's some scenes that you go, okay, I guess that's entertaining, but as a whole, I just think it's very dull and not great. And I'm not going to gush about it. It's a 2 out of 5 movie for me. I didn't hate it, but I don't like it, and I never see myself watching this again. I'm probably going to forget about it 10 minutes after the video's up. So that's where we're at with the films we're talking about this week. Now let's talk about the new films come to 4K Blu-ray this week and standard Blu-ray. A lot of controversy going on with the Rocky 4K Blu-rays and Steelbooks. Some stores still have them available. Some stores don't have them available. Regardless, this is the end of the collection. Rocky 4. Eventually, hopefully, they do Rocky 5. Rocky Balboa on 4K Blu-ray. We can complete the collection. Maybe get Steelbooks to continue with this artwork, that they're doing. Haven't previewed this on 4K yet, but I'm sure it's just going to be good as the other 3. So, aspect ratio issues, I don't know. I think that I heard somewhere that the aspect ratio gets a little bigger for a couple seconds. Then it goes back to regular size. Don't know if I'm going to notice it. Probably will, but it's not going to ruin my experience of watching the movie on 4K. So we'll see. I don't know. But that's my thoughts. Next up, it's the movie that lost the studio $100 million and went on to win 0 Oscars. It's Babylon, directed by Damien Chazelle. Look, this movie is better as like a bunch of short films. If he released these as a bunch of short films, he could have won a short film Oscar probably. But as a whole, it doesn't work as well as intended. Very well made, but I think it works better, like I said, individually. The movie on 4K, though, haven't previewed it, so I don't know. But the steelbook's beautiful. I mean, I love this beautiful steelbook, so, looking forward to it. I remember seeing this next film, Red Eye, from Paramount Presents. It's directed by Wes Craven. Back in 2005 or 6, whenever it came out, I remember sitting at a drive-in for this. Now, of course, I was younger, and there was probably an animated film playing beforehand. and then we just stuck around and the adults watched this. I just remember not falling asleep and kind of paying attention to it. I don't know. I remember seeing it though in a drive-in, and I'm very excited to rewatch this because I have really no memory of it. I just remember sitting there just seeing it on that screen. I don't know. It's a vague memory I have, but 4K Blu-ray for Red Eye, which is like an 85-minute movie, which I hear is very good. So I'm very excited to watch. And the final film we're talking about is a standard Blu-ray release. There's no 4K for Megan. Just a regular Blu-ray. You get the theatrical cut and the unrated cut. Guess what? They're both the same runtime. The unrated and theatrical are both 1 hour and 42 minutes. So I'm guessing that they changed like a couple shots. Maybe the movie ends. There's a shot different at the end of it. I don't know. But usually it's just like a cash grab. Why put a different cut of the film? It's the same exact runtime. I mean, I doubt there's anything drastically different about it. But yeah, that's Megan. That's Megan on Blu-ray. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of The King's Corner. Did you plan on seeing any of these films? Did you buy any of these films? Leave that down below. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, check out all the upcoming videos on the channel, the upcoming episodes of The King's Corner, our upcoming live show where we give away a lot of these digital copy codes. Also, spoiler reviews. We've got The Mandalorian Season 3. We just did Episode 4. That was a very exciting one. Finished The Last of Us. Spoiler reviews up for that. Blu-ray updates, all that sort of thing. Come on back. Check us out. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, RyanKing72, and on Instagram at KingOfRises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.